So, I've been thinking about how I wanted to do this video for the last week, pretty much. And I wanted to figure out what to say, how to say it. I wanted to make sure I got it right. So, I apologize in advance for the whirring of my laptop. It needs to be in my lap during this video, and you'll figure out why in just a second. As a lot of you know, yesterday I announced some pretty exciting news. I'm expecting. I am due in April. I completely and totally appreciated every single congratulations. The excitement, the warmth, the kindness that I got from you guys was exceptional, and I totally appreciated it. But it was also hard. So yeah, I'm expecting, and that's exciting and scary and all the feelings together. When you get pregnant on birth control, you don't really know how to take it at first. It's obviously not what you were planning. You think, no way, I'm not gonna be in that category of people, and then you are, and then you're automatically forced to be in a world that you were not planning on being in and figure out what to do from there. And it takes time, but eventually you are excited and begin preparing. So yeah, you get excited. Or you don't. I mean, it's not the same for everybody. But for me, that's how it was. Terrified. How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to be a mom now, after last year with my miscarriage, that, a lot I haven't been quiet about. I went through it. It was really hard. It was horrible, and it was difficult. But after that, I decided not for me, not for a while, especially with how things went down afterwards. I just So, I was terrified, but after a while, I couldn't believe it. That first ultrasound, hearing my child's heartbeat was, I can't even explain it. I cried. And then, told my parents, and then did a family announcement, mailed those out, all that stuff. We decided to do a routine screen. Seriously routine, just, and some people opt out, and some people choose to do it. It's different for everybody, and we chose to do it. We chose to do a screen for chromosomal abnormalities. With my age, my health, my family history, his age, health, family history, all of that, we were expecting totally normal results. We had a totally normal ultrasound. The nuchal screen was great. Size, great. Pretty much everything was great. We weren't expecting anything. And 3 weeks ago, I got a phone call from our genetic counselor letting me know that we had a surprise. We had a red flag for Trisomy 18. Now, we were told that there was an 80 to 90% chance that it was a false positive. 80 to 90% chance. That's a really good chance that it was a false positive. We had a 10 to 20% chance that it was a real positive. The only way to find out was to do more testing. The original screen we did was just that. It was a screen, not diagnostics, just simply to pull up red flags if there are any. It's very common to get false positives. We believe that there was absolutely no way that it was a real positive. I was obviously devastated, but I spent 2 weeks telling myself, I have a crib picked out. I've done announcement photos. There's no way. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Never in a million years would this happen to me. Like, no. We had done something called CVS testing, I think is what it's called. I was too early to do an amnio. So instead, they tested some cells from the placenta. Worst test I've ever done in my life. I would rather get my blood drawn 50 more times in like a week than ever do that again. It was horrible. It was a really horrible long needle that went into my abdomen and sucked out a piece of my placenta, and it was horrible. And the entire time I was in a lot of pain because I have a very, very low pain tolerance. I just kept telling myself that it was for my baby. So I did it. I went through it. 2 weeks of telling myself, no way. I'm sure at this point you can understand the title of this video now. The results didn't come back the way we wanted them to, or the way we expected them to. We had somehow managed to find our way into that 10 to 20%. Getting that phone call was the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and I've been through some real things. And I know some of you even know what I've been through at this point. The results were mixed. So, some of the cells were healthy, and some of the cells definitely had trisomy 18. There are 3 possibilities. None of them are good. One of them is better than the others. 3 things. So 1, healthy cells were mine. Baby is full trisomy 18. 2, baby is mixed trisomy 18. Or 3, this is preferable, and unfortunately there is only a 5% chance this is the case. The trisomy 18 cells are only in the placenta. 5% chance odds are very small. No matter what, trisomy 18 is present. You know, when you find out you're going to be a mom, you start making decisions based on being a mom. You know, you pick where you're going to go for prenatal care, and you start eating different, and you start taking care of yourself different, and you do better things for the sake of your child. I chose a birthing center, and I chose a midwife, natural everything, no drugs, no medicines, no epidural, no nothing. I wanted to be as close to an at-home birth without being at home as possible. I wanted it to go as natural as possible. I had read so many things and watched documentaries and decided on exactly how I wanted this to go. I don't get those things anymore. I had chosen breastfeeding. I had chosen co-sleeping. I had made choices already that I was set. I wanted to be the best mom that I could be, make the best decisions I could make. Picked out bedroom furniture and a crib, names. I am faced with something that 90% of the population don't face. So unfortunately, 90% of the population don't know what I'm facing, or how to help me, or the facts about it, or what to say, or if there's anything I can do. And a lot of you don't know the decision that I now get to have. And there's a lot that goes into it. This is a no shame, no judgment area. And I have absolutely zero judgment for any parents that have been in the situation I am in and made different decisions from me. We're all in this together. The very few amount of parents that have gone through what I'm going through. We're in this, and we're dealing with it, or we have dealt with it, or whatever. And you know, there's a lot that goes into this that a lot of people don't quite understand. Here are the decisions that I am faced with. Termination. No, that is not abortion. It is considered medical interference, essentially. Basically, I get to decide. This part is an option. I can be injected with something that stops the baby's heart and then be induced, or I can continue. There's a lot of options in the continuing portion of things as well. I could get sick. I mean, it's fairly rare, but it happens. I could get sick. And then we have, oh my god. And then we have to weigh our options of, this baby will likely not survive. Is it worth me being really sick? Baby could totally suffer. Totally suffer. Just, they could make it to delivery, which is rare enough on its own, and totally suffer in whatever amount of time that they're not in me anymore. Or not. We won't know those things until later. Currently I'm 15 weeks pregnant. We won't know until about 20 weeks if those things will happen. The care that I have chosen, the decision that I have made at this time, is to continue. I have an amniocentesis scheduled for next week. I need to know if we're in that 5%. I need to know if it's full or partial or the possibility of mosaic. I want all the information I can get, and I'm not in a place in my heart where I feel comfortable with termination before knowing that information. So, I'm continuing. If I find out that my baby will suffer, I will not continue. If I get very sick, I will not continue. If those things are not the case, I will continue all the way until delivery. If my baby makes it to delivery and makes it through delivery, then I have chosen little to no care, if necessary, comfort care. I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to starve. I don't want my baby to anything. I want my baby, I want them to go the way they're supposed to go. I want them to make that choice. If they hang on, they hang on. If they don't, they don't. But I have chosen that I do not want my child hooked up to machines, going through multiple surgeries to keep them going. At this point in time, we have no idea the extent of this illness. I will have more information another time. I know I've taken up a lot of your time, so I'll try and make the rest of this fairly brief. This is not the first time this has happened. I mean, it's the first time it's happened to me, but families have gone through this before. People like me had no idea what trisomy 18 even was until it happened to me. The last portion of this video, I would like to inform what I can inform, what I've found out, because I also think it's time for people to be aware that it exists. Because I didn't know. And now I do. So I've gathered what I can. I'll read as much as I can. Try not to take up too much more of your time, but it's important to me. In most cases of trisomy 18, all the cells in the body have an extra copy of chromosome 18. Around 5% of affected people have the extra chromosome 18 in some, but not all, of the body's cells. This phenomenon is known as mosaic trisomy 18. Mosaic trisomy 18 may be very severe or hardly noticeable, depending upon the number of cells that have the extra chromosome. Trisomy 18 is not an inherited condition. It occurs at the result of random events during egg and sperm formation. The type of error that occurs is known as non-disjunction, and this leads to an egg or sperm cell with an abnormal number of chromosomes. Trisomy 18 occurs on average in 1 out of every 5,000 babies. Girls are affected far more commonly than boys. Any women can have a child with trisomy 18. Common birth defects in infants with trisomy 18 include a low birth weight, small jaw and mouth, abnormally shaped, small head, overlapping fingers, clenched fists, rocker bottom feet, low set ears, defects in heart and other organs. Surviving infants may display poor or lack of ability to feed, respiratory problems, delayed growth, other life-threatening complications. Mental impairment is also a characteristic of this. Due to the presence of several life-threatening medical problems, many infants with trisomy 18 die within their first month. 5% to 10% of children live with this condition past their first year. The fact of the matter is, no matter how you look at it, which way you look at it, how long you look at it, or what research you do, things aren't going to go the way you want them to. Things aren't going to go the way you planned. As a mother, I hold on to strong, strong hope. I pray to God that it is only the placenta. And if it's not, I pray to God that it's mosaic. And that we get lucky. And there's nothing wrong with my muffin. But I don't know. And I'm not going to know for a couple more weeks. And even then, I don't know. Please have patience with me. Please be understanding with me. If I lash out at you or I'm angry with you, it is not because it is specifically about you. I'm just angry. And I'm trying very hard not to be towards other people, and sometimes I slip up. If I don't want to respond to your message, if all I say in response is one word, understand. Have patience. The last thing that I want to say is that I don't care if you like me or don't like me. There are people that I don't like. There are people that I loathe. And I still would not wish this on someone. Please have kindness in your heart and kind things to say to me. And if you don't say anything. Because you have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. On a final note, if you are a parent who has gone through this, let me know. I got open ears, an open mind, and an open heart. And a little baby right now that depends on me to be very strong. My family might not agree with the fact that I'm sharing this publicly, but I have decided that for me and my coping, and as well as for other parents who have gone through this or future parents who have to go through this, I want to keep you all updated. I'm going to make videos of my progress, mental, physical, emotional progress, and they won't all be happy videos. But I want to do this. I want to track my journey and show you my journey and have you right alongside with me every step of the way. Because God forbid that one of you ever goes through this. You're not alone. Because I can't tell you how much it helps me to be a part of a support group right now for Trisomy 18 parents, and to hear what they've gone through and their journey and their thought process and the pain and the happiness and the confusion and the heartbreak and the love change them as people. And it helps me to hear those things and see those things. And if I can do that for somebody else, then I'm going to. Thank you for watching. I know you spent a lot of your time doing it. Thank you.